In a ceremony wherein all nominees came from the same year, Frank Capra's romantic comedy It Happened One Night became the first Best Picture Oscar winner to sweep the Big Five awards: Picture, Director, Leading Actor for Clark Gable, Leading Actress for Claudette Colbert, and Adapted Screenplay for Robert Riskin, defeating the sexy epic Cleopatra, racial drama Imitation of Life, musical romantic comedies Flirtation Walk, One Night of Love, and The Gay Divorcee, Navy comedy of errors Here Comes the Navy, the biographical dramas The Barretts of Wimpole St, The House of Rothschild, and Viva Villa, the romantic comedy and murder mystery The Thin Man, and the only lost film in this lineup, White Parade. I will skip White Parade because its full version is unavailable and jump straight into it might seem odd to kick things off with a film headlined by a triple threat duo Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, but this one just did not click for me. Fred's Guy Holden falls for Ginger's hapless divorcee, Mimi Glossop. They sing and dance. The two are obviously meant for each other despite the age gap, but this film does not boast the greatest exhibition of their acting and musical skill sets, as well as the development of their relationship. The musical numbers could have been omitted, as the sudden bursts of singing and dancing feel random and awkward. One Night of Love follows aspiring singer Mary Barrett, played by Grace Moore, as she trains under an uptight manager who eventually falls in love with her. The film feels more like a showcase for Grace's vocal chops than a character-driven story. Her voice commands attention, but the musical numbers blur together. She handles the comedic elements well, but Mary never becomes clear and is mostly defined by her talent. The love triangle is predictable, and I was not invested in who she would end up with. The supporting cast is forgettable, resulting in a standard musical that impresses on the musical scale but falls short on the emotional rhythm. Navigating into the more serious territory, Viva Villa chronicles the life of revolutionary leader Pancho Villa, portrayed as an adult by Wallace Beery, who flees to the hills after murdering the overseer to avenge his father's death. The opening scene when young Pancho kills his father's killer is cold and striking. Things get jarring when Wallace takes over the role, as he is miscast ethnically and stylistically. He is most riveting when Pancho is at his lowest and when he feels unsupported by his own men. The film's strengths lie in its vivid cinematography and claustrophobic battle sequences. Still, the characters are not memorable. It is only slightly longer than the other nominees, and all of them fall under 2 hours, but it drags towards central conflict. The last film in this lineup to underwhelm me, The House of Rothschild tracks the titular family and their banking empire during a tense period in Europe. George Arliss stands out, playing both the family patriarch and later one of his sons. He brings more energy here than in his Oscar-winning and nominated roles. He is too old to play the eldest son, but he differentiates his characters and delivers his anti-Semitic speeches with conviction without being preachy.
Gentlemen, I must accept your decision. But since Count Ladrans has been frank enough to admit the reason for our exclusion, I venture to advise him that these attacks on my race are ignorant and futile. He may strike and strike again. A Jew falls, 1,000 are wounded, but the race lives on.
I appreciate the close-knit family dynamic as honest individuals with honest business and integrity despite constant prejudice against them. However, the business jargons become tedious and the pervasive verbal sparring slows the film down considerably. The Thin Man is a part romantic comedy and part murder mystery, but the former outshines the latter. The chemistry between William Powell and Myrna Loy is so captivating that the murder mystery feels like an afterthought. The case becomes too complex to detangle, and the characters behind it are uninteresting. The film lags during the investigation but comes alive whenever Nick and Nora share the screen. Their witty back and forths and light-hearted drama are so enchanting even if you have no knowledge about their history or Nick's previous cases. Myrna Loy, initially doubted due to her past Oriental roles, proves herself as an excellent comedian. Oh, and Skibias Asta is adorable. The Thin Man could have been perfect if it had perfectly balanced and fleshed out its genres, but it is entertaining nevertheless.
So what are you holding out for? A few crummy dollars that man gave you when you can get the whole estate? And Mimi, remember the other two who were mixed in with him on this? Julia and Nunheim. When he thought they might spill something, he bumped them off. You ought to know very well that he's not going to take any chances on you. What do you want to do, be next on his list?
Why, you dirty little...
Well, there's your murderer. Macaulay. Macaulay? Sure. What do you want me to do, wrap him up in cellophane?
Some Oscar-nominated films fade from cultural consciousness, but there are hidden gems that turn out to be pleasant surprises. Flirtation Walk is one of them. It centers on the affable private Dick Dorsey, played by Dick Powell, who falls in love with his general's forlorn daughter, Kit Fitz, played by Ruby Killer. Though already engaged, she reconnects with Dick years later when he produces a play in which she stars. Directed by Frank Berzaghi, he beautifully explicates the process of falling in love between ordinary people. Dick and Ruby are not cinematic titans, but watching them casually interact, enjoy life, and find love is endearing.
All right. What do we talk about?
Anything?
Well, you might give me some more orders.
I'm afraid I'm running out of orders.
Flirtation Walk is also a musical, and its sequences are enjoyable and discreet. Dick Powell's voice is lovely, and Ruby brings a sense of innocence reminiscent of Janet Gaynor. The ending is a downer because I want them to end up together, and the resolution is sudden and unearned. Flirtation Walk is a typical boy meets girl, boy loses girl, boy meets girl again, and boy loses girl again, but it accomplishes its simple goals without overstating its magic. In this military romantic comedy, James Cagney's Chester Chesty O'Connor and Frank McHugh's Wilbur Droopy Mullins enlist as Navy officers to annoy Chesty's nemesis, Pat O'Brien's Chief Petty Officer William Biff Martin, who happens to be the brother of Chesty's love interest, Dot, played by Gloria Stewart, the older Rose Dawson in Titanic. The old-fashioned humor leans on clever dialogue and physical comedy, and it consistently lands. James is a comedic genius and makes Chesty immensely likable and lovable despite his immaturity. It is an unusual choice for awards recognition, but it is undeniably fun.
Come on, slow down, sailor. I'm still giving orders.
Oh, yeah? Droopy. Here. Cast a loving glance at that and see what adjusts to your dignity.
President of the United States of America. Know ye the proposing special trust and conference paid to the Chester J. O'Connor. I do appoint him bosun in the United States. Bosun? To be obedient to his orders. Hey, this warrant puts you above me. Well, I'm a son of a...
Chesty!
Who's giving orders now? From now on, treat me with respect. And whenever you speak to me, call me mister.
Yes, sir.
This adaptation of Rudolph Bessier's play focuses on the romance between poets Elizabeth Barrett, played by Norma Shearer, and Robert Browning, played by Frederick March, as well as her strained relationship with her controlling father, Edward, played by Charles Lawton. The film can feel stagey due to its domestic and confined setting, so it is up to the cast and their acting to make it special. The drama concerning Elizabeth's siblings does not matter because Norma, Frederick, and Charles dominate from start to finish. Norma delivers her most nuanced and expressive work so far. Frederick provides a sweetest moments with his charm and appeal. Charles is unsettling as a father. The film could have unloaded its more controversial elements further, but likely held back due to the Hays Code.
Nothing and no one can come between us. My child, my darling, you want me to be happy. The only happiness I shall ever know is all yours to give or take. You must look up to me and depend on me and lean on me. You must share your thoughts with me, your hopes, your fears, your prayers.
I can't bear anymore. Let me go, Papa. Please, let me go.
I did not expect to like this drama because I have watched the same stuff a gazillion times, but at least the performances make it worthwhile. You know, Claudette Colbert had a banner year in 1934 when all three of her films are on my top 3. In Imitation of Life, Claudette plays a widowed mother who partners with Delilah, played by Louise Beavers, to build a pancake business. Both mothers have a single daughter, but their experiences could not be more different. Delilah's daughter, Piola, played by Sabri Hendricks and Dorothy Black, is consistently bullied by her peers because of her mixed race. While the film was billed as Claudette's vehicle, which showcases her most laid-back performance compared to the next two films, Imitation of Life belongs to Louise. She has the more compelling character and a moving arc that could have resonated more had it not been for the Hays Code that hampered the exploration of race. If I am not mistaken, this is the first Oscar-nominated film to address racial discrimination implicitly. Interestingly, it is Piola who is directly bullied because of it, which in turn causes her to be hateful of Delilah. The two women cannot combat it because of the social construct and norms. I wish Beatrice's romantic subplot was trimmed because it expanded the film unnecessarily and examined its 4 female female characters further. Alas, The Imitation of Life has devastating and gut-wrenching moments. Piola's abandonment of Delilah, Delilah's death, and Piola's return to mourn Delilah. It reinforces that racial discrimination is learned rather than inherent, which was and still is alarmingly relevant today.
I'm your mammy, child. I ain't no white mother. It's too much to ask of me. I ain't got the spiritual strength to meet it. I can't hang on no cross. I ain't got the strength. You can't ask me to unborn my own child. I'm sorry, Mother. I know it's asking a lot. But I've got to live my own life. Bye.
Devious Egyptian Queen Cleopatra, played by the slinky and sultry Claudette Colbert, maneuvers her way into the Roman Empire by seducing and falling in love with Julius Caesar, played by Warren William, and Mark Antony, played by Henry Wilcoxon. Produced by Cecil B. DeMille, every second of the film is campy, sexy, festive, wild, and exotic. The costumes and set pieces are to die for. The opening credits alone are indicative of its saucy tone. Once Claudette enters the frame and re-emerges in the unfurling mat, there is no stopping. This movie demands her foxiness and pizzazz, and Claudette is on fire every second, sometimes natural and oftentimes calculating. Bette Davis is cinematic perfection as Margot Channing in All About Eve, and I can see why the producers premeditated Claudette, because here she oozes bitchiness and divine decadence as Cleopatra. She can be cold and caustic, but she also exhales her exhaustion and the power play and betrayals, genuine love for both Caesar and Mark Antony, and defeat when her plans backfired. While Claudette Colbert is easily the star to watch out for, Henry Wilcoxon is not far behind as Mark Antony. He plays his very straightforward character very straightforwardly, but he too matches Claudette's campiness with his grounded earnestness. The pacing is brisk and the film balances drama and spectacle effectively. It does not achieve the colossal grandiosity of Gone with the Wind or Ben-Hur, but it gloriously swaggers its styles and substance.
Take me away with you into the shadows. As close as if you could carry me in your arms.
I am taking you with me, Agent. I am taking you with me.
Forever.
When Claudette Colbert delivered her turbid speech to Frank Capra, the three-time Oscar-winning director of It Happened One Night, an American Film Institute Lifetime Achievement Award recipient in 1982, she said she felt a wave of nostalgia upon traveling from her hometown to the event venue and wished Clark Gable were with her to commemorate Frank's award. Like Claudette, I also sensed the same wave of nostalgia when watching It Happened One Night, as it is one of the best films ever made without hyperbole. Comedy is one of the underrated genres honored by the Academy. Only a handful of comedic films and performances have been awarded, and most are controversial. I was shocked when It Happened One Night was not only the first romantic comedy film to win the Best Picture Oscar, but also the first film to sweep the 5 major categories. And you know what? It rightfully deserved to do so. Another amazing aspect of It Happened One Night is that almost everyone in the cast and crew did not think highly of it and was forced to participate in it. But it is the end product that matters. It invented and defined romantic comedy. Its story and execution are simple, and it owes its reputation to the pitch-perfect chemistry between its leads. Who can forget the scenes where Peter and Ellie pose as a fake couple arguing to fool the private investigators hired by Ellie's father, the moment when the passengers sing The Man on the Flying Trapeze, and of course, when Ellie outsmarts Peter in hitchhiking.
I'll stop a car and I won't use my thumb.
What are you going to do?
It's a system all my own.
It Happened One Night is a film that never made me check its running time due to its modern and vibrant energy, fast pace, and the fact that everybody involved knows what to do with its simple story and colorful characters without over-romanticizing them. It raised the bar high for future winners and for succeeding romantic comedies. It may have been released in 1934, but it is still fresh, lively, and timeless from start to finish.